Hey, welcome back to Wise Guys BBQ Podcast. I'm Charlie. There's Vin Picaro on the right side. We're here with Tony Two Smokes. And I'm glad to be back on the show. I know you guys had a fantastic...
Holy God, we missed you.
Oh, come on now.
No, we were having cigars outside. You missed it. It was a good night.
I feel bad. I had the LPGA in-house, and those lovely ladies needed attention.
There's still people to throw the beer bottles in the grass when they
whatever.
pick them up later, so we're good.
That's it.
But yeah, Andy was fantastic, and if you haven't checked out the video with Tommy the Butcher out at Andy's Fire Dinner, which he has every year, which is again fantastic, showcasing his creativity and overall talents that make him a special chef, not only in Rhode Island, but in just about anywhere. He's got a lot of talent and does a fantastic job. So we got another great show, and we're going to kick it off talking about some vino.
Yeah, I was just, remarking on when Tony came in the episode with his bottle of wine and his stick of soposata, which, I served that to 3 different sets of guests. And
Me twice.
Yeah, well, you were there. You kept coming back. Who is this kid? Tony, that was awesome. That was fantastic.
Amazing.
Everybody loved it. The little bit of heat in that thing was just delicious. And, and it's funny because I had some mortadella, I had some pepperoni, I had some other soposata or maybe something different. And then I had that. And everybody just kept saying, where'd you get this one? Everybody was like, run of the mill. Oh my God. So that was that was really good. Thank you for that. But what was great, and even Olivia kind of jumped on your back a little bit about the wine, because that wine was terrific, but it wasn't like, it had didn't have much information on it, so I could tell it was well made.
Well, I mean, we're Italian, and a lot of times we just can't really say where it came from. It's always best, because then, we'd have to, take you out and beat you.
A friend of ours dropped it off.
Yeah, we got a buddy. I know a guy. Everyone knows a guy.
Forget about it.
But no, so the wine and the Supersonic came, both homemade, but there's a funny story about how I met the gentleman. So I was, in a way, in a different state about 6-8 months ago at a nice restaurant. There's a few of us there. It's the big table, so you get the family style. And to my right was 2 or 3 people. And, one of the guys, he seemed to know what he was talking about for wine, or so it sounded.
Yeah.
So we ordered a couple of bottles, and his friend that was next to me, we got to, when you're sitting like this, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Where you from? The normal stuff. And he's like, I don't know anything about wine. I'm like, I know a little bit. So we were going through the process, and the guy on the other end is saying stuff, and I'm like, I do some research. Like, when I speak, I know a little bit, or at least it's facts.
Right.
This guy was clueless. A snob. He, just because he can afford $100 a bottle of wine, I don't care.
Right.
I envied him in a way because he could pay for it, and I enjoyed it, and I thanked him for drinking the wine. He gave us some, but we were talking to his, his friend. And just explain what does it mean? Like, why do you hold the glass here? Why do you just, why do you hold it down here so you don't heat it up? Why do you spin it? What are the legs? What do they mean? When you smell it, how do you do it? It's like drinking coffee, smelling coffee. So we went through a lot of things. And by the way, thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll introduce this in a little bit, but please finish your story.
We're doing all that. And at the end, my new friend was like very, very much intrigued. So he goes to his friend, like we would do, and say, you know nothing about wine. This kid just taught me in 40 minutes everything. Dude, what you said is wrong. And it was just funny. So then the guy gets an attitude, and I'm like, calm down, buddy. Yeah. I'm like, you're a little too small for me. Like, just let it go.
Right.
And then on the way out, because, I can get a little loud if I need to. Yeah. Met a gentleman. We started talking because he overheard the conversation. And that's how he met my friend who's from local.
Right.
And he's like, I make some homemade wine. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So we went there, he's made some homemade wine, and that's what you had. It's local out of Rhode Island.
Wow.
A nice Italian from Johnston.
Nice.
He makes it every year with the Supersada and some other things.
That was great.
So it's I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was wild how we met.
Yeah.
Over almost an issue, but I've gone. As they say, the older you get, the less prison is a factor. It's like it's only a few more
less
years.
Attractive.
It's like
is prison.
That's it. Because it's not that long now.
Yeah.
Back in my 18, 19, like, oh, geez, that could be 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Yeah, now it's like I'm on the other side.
I'm going to die in this place.
If we're going to go, we're going out with a bang, right?
That's funny.
But yeah, so it was just kind of funny how we met and then the wine. But I'm glad you enjoyed it in the Supersada.
So this is a wine called Bell. It's produced in Malta, where I was just at. It's the Meridian Winery there, which is kind of interesting. They are on the center of Malta. There's a Al Key is the name of the old landing strip. The British Royal Air Force used a strip there during the wars. Malta was always looked at as a very advantageous piece of property because you basically control the harbors between the bottom of Italy, Europe, and Africa. So everybody wanted that piece of property. And the Germans would bomb the hell out of this landing strip. So in the late 40s and 50s, they went in and cleaned it all up, and they converted it into a winery. And now it's a great winery. So me and my wife did a little visit, and we did the wine tour, and we had wine. And it's great because the bottle's $8. Right. So, and I don't think you could buy a bottle of wine there more than $10. Everything was right out of their last year's batch, and it was all, very inexpensive. But then ship it home, right? There's like $32 in shipping. So that $8 bottle of wine now is $40, but still well worth it. It's a cab. It pairs great with any kind of beef. So that's why I selected tonight. Even though we had pasta tonight, we had some meatballs. I decided to pair that. So that's what we're drinking tonight. So enjoy that. And,
well, allow me to drink it.
Yeah, somebody owes me $8. Cheers.
Cheers.
So
Salute.
brings us up to a couple of topics that I kind of jotted down on a napkin today, and we can go all over the place with this episode, more like another roundtable. But I was looking at pairings of booze. Doesn't have to be wine, but booze to barbecue. Like, what do you like to have with ribs? What do you like to have with brisket? What do you like to have with meatloaf? What do you like to have with a pulled pork? Anybody get any suggestions? Is there a standout anywhere as far as what type of booze? Is it beer, wine, or hard liquor?
Well, I can't go wrong with barbecue. It seems to go very well with an ice cold beer of your choice. I prefer something not very heavy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drink that heavy Guinness
IPA stuff or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drink. I'm gonna drink something light, like a Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
I knew it. I was gonna bring it up if it
that's my go-to. On a hot day.
There's nothing better than an ice cold Miller.
Oh, I don't know what it is, but you can't drink. Listen, you can't drink it all day. All right, I get about 4 in me, and then I gotta switch to something else.
Yep.
But
what are you pairing that with?
Barbecue.
But no, come on, be more specific. I mean, like for me, I would say pork, because pork is usually salty.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna have some usually have some something going on with sauce, and it's salty and it's tangy, and you want something crisp and clean to cut through that, right?
I agree.
That's what I would do. How about you, Tony? You got a standout?
Well, yeah, I do love craft beer. Yeah. I love the singles and the double IPAs, so I'll do all of that, and I like the beer. But for me, when I have a good brisket, it is really going to be the really smoky, juicy brisket.
Yeah.
I honestly, my go-to is Lagavulin Scotch.
Oh, wow.
It's usually the 12 or 16-year-old. So it's like the Lafroig, if you're familiar.
Yeah,
just half the price.
Very peaty.
Very peaty from the Highland of Scotland. But it's smoky. So it's almost like sitting by a campfire, which is also at night when I'm done, that's what I have by the campfire. But because it's so smoky, it brings out more notes of the brisket that I find when I'm eating it and having a little bit of that. So that's my go-to when I do that.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's similar to like a good steak, right? And a good brisket. And when I say the Scotch goes well with it.
Yeah.
To a nice rich meat like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because a lot of people, some people might be turned off of brisket. I don't say a lot of people. And the number one turn off to brisket is it's too greasy, it's too oily, right? But if you take that tender, thin piece and you eat it slowly with something rough like a bourbon, it's going to really change
very good.
The delight of it, I think.
And if I do burnt ends, I don't go that way. No. I go more of the lighter, like a lighter beer like that.
Yep.
A nice light one. Because I think that, because the burnt is on one side of the spectrum, the lighter beer,
the perverts a very powerful flavor.
Yeah, so it's just going to kind of pull it out. So, kind of balance it that way.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like if I do a steak or a meatloaf, I like to have something in a wine, and I like to get something nice and heavy, like maybe a Cabernet or a Chianti Classico or something that's just real heavy, in your mouth, kind of, you can feel it. It's kind of like a mouthwash between bites of steak. You know what I mean? You have the contrast of flavors. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a wine and do probably a Chianti wine is where I like to be, I think. That's pretty cool.
Well, we've been doing that all along. Is trying a lot of wines, and frankly, most of them pair pretty well with the meats you're talking about. Not so much the pork, like you said,
Right?
but like the richer cuts and the richer, smokier meats. The red wine, I think, goes very well.
Yeah, I like drinking wine during these events right now. It's better. I don't know. We thought about it. We said, hey, should we have a little scotch, or should we have some beers? And I think if you have beers, you got to drink a bunch of them. And who feels like doing that? So
You know how we get with that.
well,
It gets
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'll tell you that. But no, the wines are good. But good. Talking of wines, you guys ever put any white wine out with your barbecue? Have you ever done that? I mean, traditionally white wine's fish, right? And I love grilling a good full fish on the gas grill. But what about white wines? You guys drink any of that with barbecue?
Yeah, I'm not a white wine guy. I don't honestly. I don't. And that's just me personally.
Even after the LPGA?
It was a Zinfandel event, my friend.
That's a pink wine.
Okay.
Let's get the color straight. It's pink.
All right.
But
I wasn't totally wearing a skirt all weekend.
Some white wines, I think, work well with the sides.
Yeah.
Depending on the collard greens or whatever you have, the cornbread, just a nice little light, almost like a finish, for each session, right? You got like the main course, then maybe do some sides.
Yes.
And just kind of work your way out. And then from there, obviously with that, what desserts are we putting on the grill then, that we can smoke, right? Is it a blueberry cobbler? And then do you actually get some nice, good coffee? Or do you go into like a Sambuca? Do you go into like a port wine? Limoncello, which can be homemade easily. That's good too.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with limoncello.
Charlie brought some the other day and I kept
Oh, I
it.
forgot all about that.
Hey, what limoncello? I kept that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what he's talking
Well,
about.
I didn't get any, so I know I didn't see it.
That's all right. I didn't either. I just brought it.
And that went right away.
Yeah.
So, white wines can be interesting. I know Andy had some white wines in his fire dinner. And talk about a dessert that he had, and Meg can vouch to this, but he did a toasted marshmallow filled with ice cream. So he basically had this ice cream filled marshmallow ball, and then he took it and he caramelized the outside and made it black, and then put some powdered sugar on it. So it looked like a chunk of like brisket charcoal. And then when you cut into it, you got the nice melted marshmallow and the cool ice cream behind it.
That guy's a menace.
Yeah,
man.
that was very creative.
He's an evil genius.
Yeah.
That
Well,
stuff.
I mean, it's interesting because you were, not to jump off topic, because I know we're going to get into meats real quick, but his dinner was set up like the festival you were introducing to me from Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to remind me of the name of the festival, but it's the same concept. Andy's concept was bring the fire to the food. He wanted you to taste the fire. He actually did a lot. He took beets and he made beet ash out of it, and he seasoned his food with the beet ash. So you tasted like some soot, right? Edible soot, I guess you could say, that you got the sense of the fire in your mouth. And the information you had sent me about the Italian feast was just that. It basically was the celebration of fire is what it translates to, and how they cook all their barbecue with it. What was the name? Do you remember the name of that thing you had sent me?
It begins with a G. I got it here because
Yeah.
if I don't want to butcher the name.
Yep.
The word is grigliata. So this is a festival tradition centered in the simple, which is high quality ingredients cooked over wood or charcoal flame. So that's what they do. It's all based on the fire and the flame. So you just they get together, just like a festival here.
Yep.
But it relates a lot to what Chef Texera does, because he takes all local ingredients from the state. Nothing that's flown in, it's all trucked in, and they do the same thing in Italy, where it's all local. So when you go there, you're tasting the food that your neighbor is growing or that you grow, and you just taste it in a whole different way. Right. It just opens up the taste buds.
Right. Grigliata literally means grill out or barbecue in Italian, but don't confuse it with the American low and slow smoking techniques. This is more of hot and fast. Yeah. The flame meets the meat.
Sure.
Kind of a cookout.
The open
and it's
fire.
definitely in a festival vibe, like you said.
Yeah.
Backyards, church parking lots, just truly a festival kind of a thing.
But that's not something we've never run into that around here. A festival like that.
No.
No, not so much centered around the food, right? We see a lot of
St. Joseph's Feast. And
the
all that
feasts
stuff,
and stuff, and they have doughboys and so on. But they have all wonderful kind of sausages, meats, chicken. They cook everything.
And two meats that are specialties out there, which are they haven't caught up in the U.S. a ton. Obviously, lamb is good, but the other one is sheep when you're out there. So they do that too.
That's
Lamb and
mutton,
sheep.
right?
Yeah,
Mutton.
Depending on the age.
Leg
I think
of
the other
sheep,
one,
yeah, mutton. Yeah.
So they'll do that
You know
too.
a lot about sheep. Don't watch out. Don't watch out for this
So
guy.
let me tell you about the technique with the fireman boots.
Nobody should see that.
But they do fish too, so it's not just meat. They also do squid, calamari, whatever they catch fresh too. So
Sure.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about that because, of course, not a challenge so much, but just kind of an idea of a cook for Tony Two Smokes. We were having a good heated conversation the other day because now about ribs. We're talking about ribs, and do you sauce your ribs? Do you like your ribs wet and saucy and juicy and dripping all over the place, or do you like them more dry, slower cooked? Where you might be biting them off the bone a little bit more, but how do you like them, right? And this house is tough because I got kids who will say, I want, and I got 3 of them, right? So, 3 different directions. One direction is I want it saucy. I want it drippy, saucy, falling off the bone. The other ones say, no, I don't want it saucy so much, but I want a complex of flavors. So I don't go with sauce on the grill at the end, but I do the wrap with brown sugar and butter, and I get some things going on in there to try to get some layering of flavors. And then I got my wife who just says, no, because my wife will marinate the meat the night before, and she likes it right out of that marinade the next morning on the grill, full ride, no Reynolds wrap, no butter, nothing. Just keep it dry, and it's tough because you don't want to burn it. To get it tender, you almost have to burn it. Dry it out. When I say burn it, dry it out. But that's the trick, is to kind of constantly mist it with something so you're not changing the flavor, but you are enhancing the slowness of the cook, so it's keeping it from burning,
What's your go-to for that? For your
misting?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in that case, I honestly use just water and what my wife marinades with.
Okay.
Because it's the same flavor. Right now you're not changing the taste. But a lot of the times I'll use apple cider vinegar and I'll cut it with a beer. I'll do 50-50 with a beer or with the water, but usually a beer and apple cider will be my spritz. And that's only in the first couple hours because you're usually going 2 to 3 hours, not wrapped, and you want to keep those first 2 hours down because basically you want to save the process of melting the collagen and the fats of the ribs for the wrap, right? Because this way you keep it all enclosed. So if you can keep that thing as low and slow as possible, even by cooling it every 45 minutes, spritz it, close it, let it go 2 hours, take it out, spritz it again, wrap it. Now it's 3 hours. Now you're leaving it wrapped for a couple more hours because you get it up to about 180. And then, from there, temperature doesn't matter. Once it's 180, it's cooked. But you want tenderness. So you want to have probe tender. So you let it go another 2 hours in the Reynolds wrap, and you're probing it after 2 hours. And if it's tender, it's tender. Now it comes out of the wrap, goes back on the smoker, especially if you're going to go with a sauce, because now you got to put that on there and let it tack up. But that's where my wife says, no, thank you. She doesn't want it in the wrap. She doesn't want butter. She doesn't want brown sugar. She doesn't want that stuff. She would rather have it dry. So I'm cooking 3 different ways. It's a little bit of a headache out there.
Well, it's a good thing you got 3 different smokers. So you got 3 Yoda smokers, so you can do one each way.
You don't really need 3 smokers. You just got to have them shelved out so the technique doesn't cross over. That's all. I mean, but that, so, I don't know. Let's get some sauces out here. Can we get some sauces out here? All right. By the magic of Meg and television, we now have a plethora of hot sauces supplied by Tony Two Smokes himself, which we're going to dig into a few of these because I don't think anybody wants to see us.
Was that after the last time where we almost killed Tommy? That obviously wasn't good enough for Tony, so he had to come and try to one-up us.
Do you want to open that?
He's got.
I got it. the knife.
I'm a bad opener.
All right, so here we go. We got 3 of them that we're not going to even open on the table. That's the ones with the X's on them. These are ridiculously hot. We're saving all these for Tommy.
Listen to him.
Now I know why Tommy has a cough, because you burned his esophagus.
We didn't think about that, but that's probably true.
We kept looking at him as the problem. Maybe we're the problem. I don't know. But
Tommy.
these triple X's, we'll definitely have to get them on some food. Not what we should be doing tonight. Tony's got some chips for us to try out some of these sauces, and we have a real special one here.
We got.
But what's this?
Because we don't cut rabbits a break around here. We got some.
If you haven't had enough rabbit
jerky, okay, because he's just not done with torturing small mammals.
I'm going first.
Gotta have it. Yeah,
we'll try some of this rabbit jerky here too.
Let's see.
So,
I got a foot.
oh
Might be
wow,
your lucky. It's not his lucky foot. Might be yours.
wow, weird. It's sticky, and
What's sticky? The meat or the sauce? Are you eating that plain?
I'm not playing. I'm just eating this. Oh no, but there's something good in the back. Tony, the back tastes like your rub.
It's pretty good.
You taste that? Like a little bit of pepper
Yeah.
in the back. Yeah, it's good.
Should I be concerned that this says scorpion?
Maybe.
No, that's a little animal. I wouldn't worry about that.
Should I be concerned?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I think you're good.
Very good jerky. Did that come from someplace? What's the story behind that, Tony?
I was on my 31st anniversary last week, and down Newport. We're going to the Newport Jerky Company all the time, and they had that. They have all the kinds of normal beef you can think of, all kinds of fish, shark, and
In
then they
Newport, Rhode Island, there's a jerky company.
yeah,
They specialize in jerky. That's it.
yep. Well, and hot sauce. They have some hot sauces,
Right.
and like they have elk. They have
They produce this stuff?
no, I don't think so.
They resell
I
it.
think they
Yeah.
resell it. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But did you one thing I
Good to
did
know.
get there is you'll see the hot sauce in the corner. Looks like a nice hand grenade
Yeah, I am
right there.
Tell us about that.
So what's that?
So this is the General's hot sauce. So they're out of Texas. It's a full veteran company. And actually up in New England, whatever is sold in New England, a part of it goes to the naval base in Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, that's cool.
So it is cool. So I've bought a few of these before. I've had this one. I was looking for another one. They didn't have it, but this is called Shock and Awe.
Okay.
And it has a little dog tag, which is kind of cool, right, for their name.
yeah.
You can go online and order it, whatever you want. This is 86% pepper. Obviously veteran-owned, American-grown.
Shock and awe is like a strategy in the military.
All-
hitting the enemy hard.
So they have about 10. You can go online, too, and Google them. But they have like 10, 15 different sauces, and even salt and peppers, and they're all kind of named like military themed.
Right.
So it's cool. But this, you're going to love.
I'm surprised you didn't bring the tail hook.
Well, I've had this before, and I actually do like it. So, gotta tap it out.
We put that on the octopusy.
Don't let this
Hang on,
touch your
you wanna try
clothes.
it?
It'll burn a hole in it.
Try it?
No, go ahead, have at it.
You know that from experience, do you?
I can tell.
Let's try that.
I can tell. We're doing some shock and awe. All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm not eating that yellow.
Well,
No.
No, you already had some.
Should we throw it like a grenade?
the cool thing is, you can wash them out. That'd look great up here
Oh yeah.
on your shelf behind you.
I'm not gonna wash it out. I'm just,
That's a gift. So
Take
you
it
can
down
keep that
for-
because I've had it before.
oh really?
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, I've had that one, and I liked it.
Did you take the other ones home the other day? Thank God.
I brought them all to work and I put them in the calf.
Oh, thank God.
Take the labels off though, and just leave them.
The labels?
It's too much work.
No.
Plus, we have a lot of
Yeah, we got.
Why do you have to take the labels off?
we have a lot of people from other countries, and some of our hot sauce to them, frankly, is like not
Well,
even
that's
hot
it.
sauce.
That one wasn't that bad.
What?
No, that wasn't
Shock
that
and
bad. Shock
Yeah,
and
why
awe.
don't you try some yellow? Why don't you shake that up and try some yellow?
We shake it up.
Yeah, shake it up.
Looks like orange juice. Dude.
Yeah, it does.
Shake
I have to
it up,
hide it
baby.
so my mother doesn't
Yellow.
accidentally drink it
Oh
and kill
yeah,
her.
there you go.
All right, so this is yellow.
This is the
What's your name
yellow.
again? Samantha?
Suzette.
Suzette. Thank you again, Suzette.
Thank you,
Very,
Suzette.
very rarely do someone make a double encore with their hot sauces here. So congratulations. Maybe we should have an award. Wise Guys Hot Sauce Award.
She makes another one, a red one, during Christmas, which I will bring.
Of course she does.
That's good. It's tangy. It's like a little sweet, like a mango or something.
Yes.
There's some type of
burns
fresh
in the
fruit
back,
in there.
right? It's a late burn.
I'll have to have some more. But it was pretty good. That was really good.
Yeah. So, was I the only one that talked about saucy or non-saucy ribs? Do you
Yes.
guys have a preference? How do you make your ribs?
I like them with sauce, but not overwhelmed. So it was a little in between.
Yep.
Start them off dry, maybe marinate them. But I like to put something on to get the crust. I don't like dry.
Right.
But I don't want them as if you just pull them out of a swimming pool, wet.
Yeah.
So I like them in between. So usually when I put them in the wrap, that's when I'll add a little bit.
Yep.
Not overdo it, but it will have on the side for the ones that really want to douse them.
Yep.
So that's how I do them.
I'm with your wife. I like them,
like 'em dry.
as is, and then like have my sauce on the side that I can add
Right.
as I
I
want
don't
to.
want it, yeah.
Yeah, I had some from her sister-in-law at a birthday the other day. She made a barbecue, and their barbecues are all straight barbecues, no fuss or muss. There's no marinating. There's no rubs. It's just meat and fire. And you would almost say it's dry. It's definitely a tough bite, but that's how they enjoy it. They really want to bite it off the bone. It's fully cooked. It's not raw, but it's not like fall off the bone like you would expect at a competition or there you go. So I had one of those the other night. It was good. It was different. And like I said, that's how my wife prefers it. But my wife has her rub on it, so she's got a flavor complex on top of it, not just pure meat.
Well, sometimes I feel if it's overly oversauced,
Yep.
my first thinking is,
What are you
hiding
hiding?
something?
Well, they hide it,
Like,
right?
did it not look good? Did it?
Sound like a judge.
What is it? Yeah.
Yep. No, I hear you, and that's a reality. But yeah, just my kids like Sonny. Sonny's the one who likes the heavy sauce. He just likes barbecue sauce, so he wants it on there. And of course, I tack it up, but it's not like I know what you're saying. You're using the sauce, but you're getting it nice and tacked, so it's part of the bite.
Right.
This other stuff, you could wipe it off and then bite it if you wanted to. That's the way he would rather have it.
Yeah. So it's
Dilute
tacky.
somewhere in the middle.
Think about when you make chicken thighs.
Yeah.
Right. Chip's favorite.
Yep.
And you put
Love
them in
'em.
there. You got just the right glaze in the box, just enough to tacky, but
Yep.
for flavor, but not to overpower.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we should get some opinions from our audience because you guys have been awesome. By the way, while we're here, please like and subscribe and ring that notification button because it does help. And keep the comments coming. We're getting so many comments. It's terrific. So please keep them coming and tell us what you think about what we have 2 challenges out there for you. We heard a couple suggestions, but not many. I think you might need a little more direction on maybe an A, B, C, or D. But we want to do a poll on what you would like to see Tony smoke next. If there's something that would be an oddity or something you always been wanting to try, let us know what that is, and then let us know how we should cook some of these ribs. Should we do one of each? Should we do it tangy? Should we do it dry? Let us know because we want to give you what you're expecting to see for sure.
So what's your favorite? The scorpion. What's the other one that's open?
I like the grenade. I like
That's
the
good.
shock and awe. This
I
is
think
good.
all those that we tried are all very good. I would any one of them is excellent. We didn't try those last 2, and I know all about the yellow.
The yellow is really good.
The scorpion coming out of the skull is definitely deterring
with the
me
word regret.
from trying this one.
Well, if you go to Newport Jerky, they have some that are like, I'm not even going to repeat the names that they are. But there's some
Kiss
that are
your ass
clear.
goodbye. Those type of things.
I thought the one that was always creative was slap your mama.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Those are good spices.
Yep.
I'll tell you something. That rabbit jerky is good.
You like it?
I do like it. I like it
I'm
a
not a
lot.
fan.
I thought it was pretty good.
I think
more
for
like-
someone
like-
who
It was like
until a
meat-
couple
meat
months
candy.
ago never really experienced rabbit other than Portuguese
It
stew.
was very sweet, like a meat candy.
it
I
is
like,
sweet.
I like my jerky salty, like my women.
Well, speaking of this rabbit jerky, which I find very good. It is totally different from other jerky. Other jerky tends to be much saltier. Even like the teriyaki stuff is very salty. This is sweeter. Like,
It's like candy. It's like meat
Yeah,
candy.
meat candy. But I with the hot sauce, I mean, right up my alley. As the meat prices go up and up,
Every price is going up and up.
yeah, you can look to the chefs and the cooks to find ways to save money, right?
Yep.
And we've touched on this a few times before, but they look for different cuts of meat. And barbecue started out with people looking for inexpensive cuts of meat that they could low and slow cook and would tenderize those normally tough cuts of meat. So right now there's a movement towards some different things, and one of them that I keep noticing is the chuck roast. These guys are seasoning it and throwing it in the smoker just like a brisket, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
and it's obviously a fraction of the price you're going to pay for a top shelf brisket.
Oh yeah, I mean any brisket now is all considered top shelf because. I mean, sellers.
Did we run out of cows or something?
Well, yeah, we are. Beside the point, but not to be a Debbie Downer, but just in high demand rate, especially right now. It's barbecue season. It's competition season. Yep. Everybody, that's why the real smart competitors. Oxymoron. They're buying their stuff in February. They're freezing it. They keep it in the freezer because they know what they're doing. They're buying it when it's cheap, and they have it in the freezer and they're ready to go, and they budget out their year like that, so it's good. But absolutely. I mean. Tommy, for example, he could be really considered a frugal chef. I think that's already been used. But when he did his, for example, I'll give you two quick examples. When he did his tomahawks, he didn't go out and buy, Wagyu or a prime cut. He got a choice cut tomahawk because he knew he was going to do a dry brine on it for 24 hours, which totally changes that complexity of the meat. And then he did a low and slow approach, 175 in a smoker to bring it up to temp before he fired it off, right? And you put that much love and experience into any cut of meat, it's delicious. And that tomahawk was delicious.
It was fantastic. And you wouldn't know. I mean, you wouldn't know that it was a choice.
So that was, the first thing that I asked him. I said, because I knew where he got it. And the retailer he got it from through the internet usually prides themselves on their prime cuts. So I said, oh, my God, you went for the prime. He goes, nope, that's choice. That was $75. Now, it was a 3-pound tomahawk, so it wasn't going to be $25. But $75 for that piece was not that expensive. It was a really frugal piece of meat that he treated very well, and it was delicious. He did a great job. Then, of course, the compound butter, the Italian compound butter he put on at the end was like icing on a cake. So that was a sweet cook. The other one that's airing probably just came out right before this video, so check it out, is he did a picanha cook. And really cute. He took a top round and he butchered it himself. So he ended up getting a butter roast, a chuck roast, and a picanha roast out of it. Then he cut the picanha roast into steaks. He put them on a sword, and he charred it on a regular spit. Not a spit, a split log in his Weber grill.
And we just kept spinning it?
Yep. Jackass sat there in the smoke. Maybe another reason why you can't breathe, Meg. I don't know. We didn't think about that either. He
smoke
sat there,
inhalation.
Exactly, for an hour and a half. And he mentions that on the video. But it was great because, the way he cut the steaks, it was ingenious. So he basically, and if you know picanha roasts, he cut the steaks in line with the grain, which you don't want to do unless you're doing it on a sword, because now when he stacked the steaks on the sword and he holds it up like they would at a Brazilian store and you cut down against it, you're cutting against the grains.
Just the way you want it.
Just the way you want it. And boy, that was real tasty. And he did it with a Brazilian chimichurri sauce, and he did it with a Brazilian potato salad. So that was a super treat. And wasn't expensive at all. And you got, I think we got an 11-pound top round cut of meat that he's going to get 3 roasts out of. That, I don't know if it cost us $80. You know what I mean? Nice. So there you go. Yeah, it was great. We got the other ones freezing. We're going to be bringing those out. The other one we want to really try is a spoon roast. He's gonna cook a spoon roast out of that. So,
and why do we call it a spoon roast?
You can eat it with a spoon, baby. That's the only reason why we call it.
Not because you're snuggling with it in bed. Well, that's a different technique.
Yeah, that's bad. Close your ears. Okay.
What about you?
Well, I like when I go to the market, there's a couple local butchers that I'll go to, and there's a lot of ethnic people going there. and I'll just walk and see what they have because I'm like, what is that? I'll ask them. Like, I've never heard of this kind of meat, and then they'll tell me what it is, and I'm like, oh, I'll try this. So I've tried all different kinds just to see, what can I do with it. It's, just figuring out, is it, a flank steak, for instance? Is it a top one, bottom? What is it? Stuff I've never heard of. I'm like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
It's meat. I mean, and then depending what the texture is, like a chuck roast can be tough. What I've done with that or tougher cups of meat is I sous vide it just to help break it down, and then I'll cook it on the grill afterwards, smoke it for a little bit.
Yep.
Because over time it just breaks down all the muscle, all the cartilage, and just makes it.
What's the sous vide is where you put it in the plastic and put it in the water.
Yep. So it just keeps a constant temperature in water.
Yep.
So it's almost like the pellet smokers. You can say I want a 175, and it just doesn't go above that. This is the same thing. You set the temperature, and it just stays perfect. It just circles in the water, so it's moving, so it's cooking, but it keeps it to whatever temp you set it at.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it comes down to knowing your meat and your technique. I mean, I saw this was a choice flank steak cooked in a stainless steel frying pan, but it was amazing. And why was it amazing? I'll tell you why. It was a flatter cut, and they put it in the stainless steel pan with nothing, okay? Because what you're trying to avoid when you cook something that's a tougher meat is any kind of moisture. Any moisture, anything you're adding olive oil, if you're even putting salt and pepper on it to a certain degree, you're drawing out the moisture from the steak, and that moisture ends up causing you to steam or braise the meat rather than frying it. But if you go bone dry and just put it there and don't touch it, you don't lift it, don't do anything, it's going to stick to the pan. You're going to be like, what am I doing? I'm burning this thing. You're not. Just because it's a protein and it knows when it wants to release, once it kind of has that Maillard reaction on the meat, it'll release from the pan. You'll flip it and do the other side, and that's it. You pull that thing off, you cut it against the grain on a little bit of an angle. It's delicious because it's charred on two sides and it's nice and red in the middle. And it's not a bad, bite because it's against the grain. Yeah, it's not a ribeye, but it's a good piece of meat for sure.
Sure.
But
Definitely.
What's that market? You go out 95 past the. You go on 95 south past the. The car dealership that has a giant American
Cadillac,
flag.
the Herb Chambers Cadillac.
Right at that curve. After
Armando's.
that,
I'm
not gonna tell you,
Armando.
don't-
It used to be Armando's. Is it
Oh,
still
yeah,
Armando's?
no.
Or it's something else.
It's something
It's-
same place, but it's
Anyway.
resold.
it's still here. It is. It's still Armando's,
Yeah.
but they sold out. Another
Okay.
company bought it, but they're keeping the name
Yeah.
for now. But that's not the one you want to go to. Should we tell them, Meg? I don't think we should. But you want a delight, same exact area on the highway. When you come off, instead of when you take a right, you go past Armando's, you go to Cadillac Avenue. And that used to go down back, what used to be there was the Narragansett Electric Company.
Yes,
Yada, yada.
yes.
You go down to a market called Good Fortune. It's probably 30,000 square feet of all Asian ethnic food. And what's amazing about it is they have cooked takeaway food, whole pig hanging, Peking ducks. And then in the back, they have fresh fish. You want any whole fish, fresh octopus, all that stuff's in the back. It's a delight. And the inventory they have and how they keep it fresh and turn it over, it's amazing. And then if you want something, a little bit off the chain, right, a little eclectic, you can go. They have all the seasonings from Asia. Everything's from Asia. And another nice little tidbit there is if you guys ever do hot pot or the skillet?
Yes.
So when you go to those restaurants, usually they'll give you whatever you choose to cook, very thinly sliced and almost still frozen. It'll be beef, it'll be pork, it'll be whatever. They sell it that way. You can buy containers of rolled steak, cut paper thin, so you can take it home and drop it into a hot pot or put it on your skillet, however you want to cook it. But it's basically all the work's done. It's amazing. I took Tommy there when we did a salmon. We smoked a salmon on the grill, and he
that's where you got it?
I said, "Yeah, you got to take a ride with me. I got to show you this market. You're not going to believe it." And I actually wanted Sue to come with us, but she couldn't. And we went to 8:30 on a Sunday. And he was like, his eyes were like, "This place is amazing."
Christmas.
Maybe that's where he got his cough. I don't know, man. I don't know. We got a lot
of suspects.
But no, if you ever get a chance, 101 Cadillac Avenue in Providence.
Put it on my list.
Cranston, it might be Cranston.
Elmwood Avenue. Right.
Elmwood Avenue,
Yeah.
right? So you go right there, and it's just amazing. You'll love it. You'll have fun in there.
So you come right off that exit. Armando's right in front of you. You bang a right.
Well,
and
you
go
come
down
off that exit, and you kind of makes you go right, and as you go right, Armando's right there on the
Yep.
left. Dunkin' Donuts, Cadillac Avenue, right
Gotcha.
there. I think it used to be like a
No,
registry
it's-
Vin
yeah,
company
yeah,
or
yeah.
something back
Yeah,
there.
Anchorage is still in the back. If you go back a few blocks, it's still back
The
there.
thing I
Yeah.
wanted to say about Armando's was I went, my son was graduating high school. We were having the graduation party, and I had like, I don't know, 25 or 30 people. I shot my mouth off saying I was going to make steaks and stuff like that. And I went to Armando's, and I was like, yeah, I need like, a lot of steaks.
Yeah.
The guy goes, why don't you get the clot meat? I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
I didn't hear it, but it's like a thin beef, and he goes, if you get 10 pounds of this for a fraction of the price, and he goes, you just marinate it a little bit and cook it real fast on high heat,
Yeah.
and they'll never know the difference. And they
But
didn't, and it came out fantastic.
But it was definitely beef, not Biff. Wasn't clot Biff.
I'm gonna say it was beef.
Biff and Loopster, the new surf and
Clot
turf.
meat. Yeah, and I've never heard that since, but that's what the guy called it.
Yeah.
He just had a pile of it in the case.
I
So
love
it came
that.
out fantastic.
I love Armando's. I went in there once. My son loves Austin Bucco. And I didn't make it a lot. So I'm like, I know it's the shank of the cow. So I go in there and I called like my local guy and he's like, oh, I don't have any cuts, but go to somebody who cuts their own meats like an Armando's or International Meats or something. So I went to an Armando and I was like, oh, can I? And he goes, well, how many you need? And there was 6 of them coming over. I said, I'll take 6. He goes, all right, I'll be right back. And he comes out of the back room and he's got a cow's leg frozen on his shoulder walking out. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? What is that thing? I never saw that. And he goes, all right, how thick you want him? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, this is your Oscar Bucco. I'm like, that's Oscar Bucco, a leg of a cow? He's like, yep. So I was like, I'll take him about this thick. He cut me up 6 pieces and I left. But I was like, I never knew it started like that, right? So that was fun.
Okay, let me just clarify. So the beef, it's beef clod, CLOD.
Yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah, I said clot. Like
I was thinking blood
I've got a clot in my heart, and that's why I was in the hospital in
You
January.
again?
Nah,
Jesus Christ!
I
Every
shook
year
this one off.
kid.
It's a large economical cut from the cow's shoulder and neck region. This lean and rich in beefy flavor. Beef clod.
Good. I'm glad you cleared that
There
up.
we go. I would have been happy if I didn't clarify that. Thank you.
So these sauces were awesome. Thank you, Tony, for spoiling us again. And Samantha, I don't know what to say about you.
It's good.
You're a menace in the hot sauce world.
Suzette.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Can we change her name? Does she mind?
She probably doesn't. She thought she watched that video and I showed it to her at work.
giggled.
Oh, she was laughing like she was the star of Hollywood. You
Yeah,
know?
that's cute.
And
We should
she
have her
loved
on.
it.
Would you come on? No.
I'll ask her. That might be a big get, but I will. I'll pose it to her.
That would be cute if she came on.
She's a funny lady, and she's a master cook.
Great.
She does a lot of great stuff and brings it in for people at the hotel employees to eat.
Well, guys, if this doesn't want to get you out there eating barbecue and cooking barbecue, I don't know what's gonna. We need your input. We got to get Tony Two Smokes cooking. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Eat more barbecue, and please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Share. We're cruising. We're up over 700. We're moving to the stars, baby. Everybody loves us.
Let's keep pushing. Let's keep going.
YouTube, Facebook. I get all kinds of good notifications with them. So we got more new content coming out in this fourth quarter that you guys are gonna love. So
September's a busy month.
Forget it. October, November.
Busy month. Miller's is this month, which I was shocked. I didn't realize that. Miller's out in Cranston. Their big event.
Yeah. So this weekend. So tomorrow, I'm gonna say tomorrow because this is gonna come out Friday. MCRCO. So
Correct.
Marshall Fields Community Rib Cook-Off out in Marshall, Massachusetts is happening, and is it an event. I think they're up over 20 teams that are going to be cooking ribs. So it's really interesting. You go in and you sign up, and with your entry fee, you have to cook 40 racks of ribs. And it's all supplied. Any racks of ribs you want to cook, you get supplied by the company. And that's with you. So you pay a number, I want to say $200. You get 40 racks of ribs, you set up and you cook. But the big challenge, the big poke in the chest for all these guys is how many can you cook? And guys are cooking 300 racks of ribs.
Gets to be a bit of a pissing contest, right?
It does. And then and they're all they don't have to be financially responsible for them. Marshall Field donates I mean, gives them those racks of ribs. The only thing is you have to cook them, and they cook them, and then that's what they do. They open up to the public, and they sell them. And I think last year, I think they said their rib sales was like $17,000 just in rib sales. Forget about donations and sponsors and everything else that they do there. Yeah, so it's great. So we're going to be doing a deeper dive into that with the actual folks that put the event on. So we'll have some of that in the future. But if you should be there live, you should go to it. It's going to be a great time. The weather's going to be terrific. Doors open up at 12 o'clock. It's on if you go to mcrco.org is the website. You get the directions there, and you can buy. I think what it is $7 at the door, $12 at the door, $7 if you buy your wristband online. And what that wristband does, it gets you in. There's a beer garden. There's bands. They have like 2 or 3 bands that play throughout the day. And then what you do is you buy your tickets. And every ticket you buy, I think it's a couple bucks or $3 for a ticket. You get 1 or 2 ribs from the vendors. So you go in, if you spend $30, right, you're going home with about 20 ribs, which is like a rack and a half, 2 racks, which is not a bad deal for you and your family. Not just you, but you and your family. And I see people come in, they come in with their takeaway boxes. It's so cute. And they just spend $20, $30 and they line them all up. And then you get, of course, you eat the ribs, and then you get everybody who gets a wristband gets a ticket, and they have a people's choice vote. And then they have a few judges who vote, and then they pick.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's and it's supposed to be fun for the competitors. So it's like bring your trophy. Trying to remember here, Meg. I think it's been 12 years now that they've been doing this event, and then 12 years they only had 1 repeat champion. Every year it's a different champion. Just works out that way. And what happens is they invite them to bring. This is the cutest thing. They invite the vendors. Hey, bring your trophies. Brag. This is about you.
Show off the belt. Brag. Show off the hardware.
But you got to remember now, like Miller's, a lot of these people, this is the only thing they do. They don't compete, right? So they don't have hardware. So like, we don't care what trophy. Bring your bowling trophy. So they bring their kids like little league trophies and put them out front. It's so freaking cute. And if you weren't there, I'm so mad at you for not being there. Last year we met a great competitor. It was the name of the restaurant and team was called Wine and Dine. And the group of men that put together this team, they call themselves the Marshfield Mafia. So they're all dressed in black. They got the hat.
I remember that, yeah.
And I went over and I met the owner of the restaurant, and he was there, and he was like, oh, yeah. So I tell him who we are, and I go, I got to get you on. I'd love to do an article about you. And he was like, yeah, sure, taste this wine. So I'm like, I'm not going to say no to wine now. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about 95 degrees. Sun's beating. But like, yeah, good Chianti would be good about now. So I take a glass of wine and say, wow, this is terrific. Thank you. He's like, well, if you like it, you get one. And he goes back in the case and grabs a bottle of wine. He makes it himself. It's a thing his grandfather brought over the grapes from Italy, and they have a picture of this little orchard in their backyard where they grow the grapes that his grandfather bought, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And it's just amazing that this guy, like, just for no reason, his restaurant's a small restaurant. He does his one event every year, but this is what he likes to do: make wine, make barbecue, and cook for his customers. And I'm like, you're.
We
cool,
had
man.
that wine at one of our shows.
We did. We had it on
Early
the show.
on.
We thanked him for everything. And we had that wine on our show.
It was really good.
And I wrote an article on bbqnews.com. It's still up there. If you look for Marshfield Mafia, you'll find it. It gives you all the details of the restaurant and his name and everything. That was a great time. He's going to be back this year. And so I found out from the interview that we shot, unfortunately, there's a big competition this weekend as well. So a lot of the local competitors that we know from like Nebs and so on will not be there because they'll be at the competition, not at this cook-off. So they're about maybe 8 or 10 teams shy compared to last year, but it doesn't matter. They still have the same amount of ribs that they're cooking. The other guys they're ponying up more ribs that they're cooking. And it's amazing because they come in, it's a fairground, so they got to open the gate. So they tell them, oh, you'll open the gate at like 5 a.m. So they set a lineup at like 3:30 in the morning on this road, and the guy feels bad. He opens the gate, he lets them in. They set up their pits, they get going, and they start cooking because they got to be going by 12, right? So, yeah. I mean, these guys got they got 4 or 5 sets of cookers that they're smoking on. They're smoking on everything you can imagine to get that many done. You get the meat the night before, and you can do whatever you want to it except cook it. So what they have to do is whatever they bring it in at 3:30 in the morning, they temp it. And if it's like, still in a raw state of coldness, they'll let you use it. If not, they're like, yeah, you can't cook these at home the night before and bring them in, right? So that's the whole point of that. But they cook everything there, and it's fantastic. And this year, for the first time, they're doing a first responder award because they always have the Marshfield Fire Department goes down and puts together a cooking team and cooks. But this year, for the first time, the police department got together and they're putting a separate team. So there's a competition.
Cool.
It's really cool. So they said for those guys alone, they're going to have a one-on-one competition to see who wins this first responder award. And then we're talking to Steven in the interview. He was telling us, as you can imagine, they're already, crap talking 2 weeks out. They're like going down, finding out where the boots are. They're like, you're going down. We're cooking, 150 racks, and you're going down. So they're already going back and forth. So it's cute as hell. It's a great day. It's all for good fun, and it's great food, booze, and music. How can you go wrong? So check it out.
Can't. Sounds like a good time. Get there.
MCRCO.org. Check it out.
How far of a ride is that?
It's about a little over an hour.
It's not bad.
No, that's from Providence, Rhode Island. So if you're anywhere north of it, it's a stone throw. So
sounds good.
Check it out.
T, it's a pleasure having you here as always. You got anything on the horizon that you want to tease?
With
some ideas.
We'll do some smoking. We're gonna ribs. I think is gonna be a good option. I think we're gonna do maybe I have an idea. A sweet.
Not like
maybe a
lion
sweet.
ribs or
No.
Stick like,
but I mean,
you never know.
You never know. But I have an idea for I'm gonna stretch the limit and say the flavor profile that I'm gonna use. I don't think has ever been used on ribs.
Oh wow,
that's a bold statement.
All right,
I could be wrong.
No, stick to your guns.
I don't think I am.
All right,
stick to your guns. Very exciting.
I have one. We're gonna do at least two different types. One I already know what I'm gonna do.
Good.
That one I don't think anyone's ever done.
Look forward to it.
So,
can't wait.
That's it.
All right, folks. Thanks for being here. Have a good week.
All right.
Adios.
Thank you.